Hello and welcome to Workers' Comp Unwrapped, the podcast that simplifies workers' compensation for physicians. So let's get started. Today we're plunging headfirst into, well, let's just say a pretty complex area in California right now. We're talking about billing for injuries when freelance workers get hurt on the job. You know, with the gig economy just exploding, this isn't some tiny issue anymore. It's something a lot of you, maybe your providers, maybe billers, or maybe just really curious, need to understand.
Oh, absolutely. It really is critical. And we're zeroing in specifically on California's SB 988 regulations. These were supposed to bring some order, structure to this whole evolving landscape. What's really fascinating, and honestly often pretty frustrating, is watching how the old workers' comp rules, the traditional ones, they just sort of bend or sometimes completely break when you try applying them to independent contractors. It's a real stress test for the system we have.
It really feels like that system is maybe overdue for an upgrade sometimes. We want to unpack exactly who SB 988 covers and what are the absolutely essential billing requirements, because they can be surprisingly tricky, and maybe touch on why so many providers are finding this whole area just challenging. Get ready, because this is where it gets, well, really interesting and maybe a bit messy. Okay, let's kick things off with the basics, the who. Because who we're talking about here is the first really critical distinction. We're not dealing with your standard W-2 employee, right? That's the path we all know.
Not at all, no. SB 988 is primarily focused on freelance workers, gig workers, independent contractors, all within California. So think about, rideshare drivers, delivery people working for apps, folks on short-term contracts. Their classification, how they're legally defined, that's the absolute key.
Right.
Because it fundamentally changes how potential injuries get covered. It takes them out of that standard employer-employee box where there's usually a clear workers' comp policy, and that classification itself, often debated. That's sort of the core issue here.
So the lines are definitely getting blurrier, almost invisible sometimes, it feels like. Given these workers often don't have that traditional employer policy, how does coverage, how does it actually work for them?
Identifying who pays sounds like it could be, well, a bit of a nightmare.
It can feel like that, yeah. Like you're in a detective novel, but maybe without the neat ending. SB 988 generally pushes for or allows for these specialized policies. Think platform-specific insurance programs. So the company that hires the freelancer, Uber, DoorDash, maybe a staffing agency, they might have a specific plan, but it's often tailored just to cover injuries that happen while working for their platform. And here's something often missed, and it's a big deal. If coverage isn't automatic through the platform,
sometimes it can actually fall back onto the individual contractor. They might have to sort it out themselves. We're seeing that this lack of clarity right at the start is a major hurdle. It can delay people getting care.
Wow.
So for providers, it's a big upfront challenge. Figuring out the payer isn't just checking a box. It means you have to investigate, be diligent. Otherwise, you're looking at denied claims, wasted time. It's definitely like that Where's Waldo game, trying to find the right insurance plan.
Okay, that Where's Waldo analogy. Yeah, that really hits home. So let's get down to brass tacks then. For the people handling these claims, what are the absolute must-dos, the non-negotiable billing requirements under SB 988? Because, let's be real, getting paid is the goal here.
You nailed it. And navigating these rules is how you get there without, like you said, pulling your hair out. There are really 5 critical points, things every provider needs to, bake into their process.
Okay, lay them on us.
First, verification of coverage. This is just non-negotiable, full stop. Always verify that the injured freelancer is actually covered under an SB 988 compliant policy. And do it before you submit any claims.
Before anything else.
Exactly. You need solid proof. Ideally, get it straight from the platform or the insurer if you don't have that. You're basically setting yourself up for denial. It's like building on sand. You wouldn't start treatment without confirming who the patient is, right? Same idea for coverage. It's a financial survival, really.
Got it. Verification first. What's number 2?
Second, claim submission guidelines. Now, SB 988 mostly sticks to the standard codes, CMS, California DWC codes. But, and this is a big but, you have to be super alert for potential adjustments. Things like different rates or specific billing modifiers that might be required by that specific policy.
So little details that make a big difference.
Huge difference. These aren't minor things. They can seriously impact how much you get reimbursed. It's like needing to know a different secret handshake for every club you want to get into. Get it wrong, the door stays shut. I saw something recently suggesting incorrect modifier use causes maybe 15% of initial rejections in some of these cases.
15%? Wow. Okay. Number 3.
Third, Documentation, documentation, documentation. This is your absolute best friend, your shield, your sword, everything. Your records, the paperwork, it all has to clearly show the injury was work-related, period. It needs to clearly identify the freelance nature of the job and verify that platform or insurer coverage.
Leave no doubt.
Exactly. Every single piece has to be there. Any missing link is just a huge red flag for denial. If you can't prove it happened on duty, especially tricky with freelancers, flexible hours, good luck getting paid. We've seen cases drag on for months over a simple sprained ankle because there wasn't clear proof, like a timestamp or location data showing they were actively working. You have to build an airtight case linking the injury directly to the freelance work.
Airtight case. Okay, number 4.
Fourth, timelines. Speed matters. Promptness is crucial under SB 988. The law really emphasizes quick reporting of the injury and getting that claim submitted fast. Delaying these steps, it just holds everything up. Reimbursements get stuck, adding stress for everyone. Provider, the worker.
Right, the gig economy moves fast.
Yeah.
Waiting around doesn't work.
Exactly. And the longer you wait, honestly, the harder it can be to prove the connection, the more pushback you might get.
Makes sense. And the last one, number 5.
And finally, fifth, use of ICD and CPT codes. Now, you use these like in other workers' comp claims, but you need extra attention to accuracy, especially because the type of freelance work often leads to specific kinds of injuries. So make sure the coding precisely matches the injury and how it relates to that freelance job. For example, lots of musculoskeletal issues for delivery drivers, right? Lifting, repetitive motion, or vehicle accidents for rideshare drivers. The codes need to tell that specific story. This worker, this job, this injury, no room for confusion.
Okay, so putting it all together, it sounds like even a tiny slip up, maybe in verification or a detail in the documentation, it can turn what should be routine billing into a massive headache, a forensic investigation almost. And delay payments for ages, that's just brutal for providers.
It absolutely is. And you know what makes it even tougher? The freelancers themselves, they're often working fast. They don't have an HR department guiding them through this maze.
Good point. No safety manager walking them through form.
Right. So providers often have to step up, be really proactive, really informed for the freelancer, almost like being an advocate just to make sure all the I's get dotted, get crossed. It's an extra burden, sure, but honestly, it's pretty crucial for getting the claim paid and making sure the worker gets taken care of.
Okay, so we've covered the who and the how. Let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about the why is this so difficult part, the bumps in the road. Because even with these guidelines, providers are still running into significant challenges with SB 988 claims. What are the main pain points you're seeing again and again?
You're right. It's definitely not all smooth sailing yet. There are a few recurring issues that make this area tricky and sometimes, pretty contentious.
Like what?
Well, first, just unclear coverage. It loops back to that verification point. But it's a fundamental problem. Often, the freelancers themselves just aren't sure, are they covered? Under which plan they might assume they are, or just not know until they get hurt.
So the worker doesn't even know for sure.
Exactly. Which kicks off that frustrating detective mission for the provider right from square one. Wastes so much time. And it does raise a question, doesn't it? Should the platforms be doing a better job communicating this stuff up front?
Interesting point. Okay, what else?
Second big one, delayed reimbursements. Because some of these insurers, some platforms, they're still kind of figuring out these SB 988 plans. Their internal processes might still be evolving, maybe not fully streamlined yet. So claims just take longer, significantly longer sometimes than traditional workers' comp.
And that impacts cash flow for providers.
Massively, especially smaller practices. They rely on timely payments. I saw one estimate suggesting initial SB 988 claims might face delays of like 45 to 60 days beyond the norm. That's a long time to wait.
Yeah, that's tough. Okay, what's next?
Third, and this is where it can get really controversial, disputed injuries. The platform might argue about whether the injury actually happened on duty. You know, the whole nature of gig work, flexible hours, self-directed schedules, it blurs those lines. Was the driver on a delivery or heading home or making a personal stop?
Right. Proving that work connection can be hard.
Extremely hard. Proving work-relatedness becomes absolutely critical, and it often leads to these long investigations, disputes, delaying pay, delaying payment. It really forces us to rethink what workplace and work hours even mean now.
Definitely challenging old definitions. And the last major pain point.
And fourth, just adding another layer of fun, complex and divergent billing rules. Different platforms might actually have their own unique billing rules or requirements, things that sit on top of the standard California DWC regulations.
Seriously? So it's not just one set of rules?
Nope. It can be a mosaic. Different rules depending on which platform the person was working for when they got hurt, which means billing departments need incredible attention to detail and they have to constantly stay updated. Makes consistency really hard to achieve.
Wow. Okay, so it sounds like just a constantly shifting landscape. So if we boil it all down, it really comes back to those core things you mentioned earlier. Meticulous verification up front, rock-solid documentation, spot-on coding. Those are like the provider's best defenses in this whole complex, evolving situation, like having the right map in uncharted water.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. The sooner providers can nail down those processes, refine them, make them routine, the smoother things will go. Less stress for them, less stress for the injured freelancer trying to recover. Understanding these challenges isn't just about knowing the problems exist. It's about anticipating them, building systems to handle them. It's really an ongoing adaptation process.
What an incredibly insightful deep dive into SB 988. Really fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
It's so clear that, while the gig economy brings all this flexibility, it also throws up huge new complexities for things like workers' comp billing. For you, our listener, whether you're deep in healthcare billing, maybe you're a gig worker yourself, or just curious about where work is heading, the takeaway seems pretty simple. Clarity, diligence, maybe a healthy dose of patience or persistence. Those are your superpowers here.
Indeed they are. And this whole discussion, it really raises a bigger question for all of us, doesn't it? As work keeps changing so dramatically, how much more do our traditional legal systems, our financial frameworks, how much more do they need to adapt to really protect workers, ensure fair compensation, but without, crushing the innovation that's happening? What is on duty even going to mean in 5 years? Think about AI, remote work globally. The lines just keep blurring. Definitely something to chew on until our next deep dive.
Thanks for listening to Workers' Comp Unwrapped. If you found value in today's episode, subscribe and share with fellow doctors. Stay informed and keep making a difference in your patients' care.